just picking up where I left off before, with my Q talk, my rant concerning QAnon and its bogosity. Where I left off with the previous video was I was talking about how there were Q-type people who were looking at videos of Tom Hanks and looking at videos of Ellen DeGeneres. And I particularly remember one of Tom Hanks when he was hosting Saturday Night Live from his house. You know, it was that weird, ridiculous time when, you know, the lockdown was so extreme, was being enforced to such an extreme extent that people couldn't get in a studio with one another, and so they had to just sit behind their their recording devices in their homes. And so apparently Tom Hanks, who was the first to get the coronavirus in Australia. Yeah, right. Anyway, I've talked before about Tom Hanks. That guy glows in the dark like nobody's business. But anyway, putting all that aside, there was all this talk about how, look, you see Tom Hanks here standing in what's supposed to be his kitchen. That's not his kitchen, and it doesn't really look like his head. This looks like this is CGI. You know, all this, like, freeze it here. Look at the position of his mouth. It's just, I don't even think it's him. It may be his brother, you know, doing his voice, and so there was all these notions being floated out there, concomitant with the whole idea that these mass arrests were just about to happen. Like, there was going to be this event where suddenly all of the degenerates, all of the perverts, all of the child traffickers in high places, including conspicuous people in government, conspicuous people in the entertainment industry, that they were all gonna come down on them, and law enforcement was going to take them, march them off in their orange jumpsuits to military tribunals, and they would be declared to be traitors and summarily hanged. Right? That was just on the horizon. It's coming. It's coming. The storm is coming. The storm is almost here. The storm is here. It just hasn't quite happened yet, like I was talking about last time. So concomitant with that, there's this whole other side of it where it's like, oh, well, you may not be seeing it, but it's actually happening. And there were videos made, and maybe they're still up, maybe they still can be seen, where all these claims were being made that, these people, were just quietly being dispatched, just quietly being taken care of. I remembered at again, I said this before, but at Bush Sr.'s funeral, there was a big deal made about these envelopes being handed out to various people who were there, including George W. Bush and his wife, and I think Pence and his wife, and maybe the Clintons. I don't know. Hillary Clinton had an ankle bracelet. She was clearly on house arrest. When John McCain died, it wasn't because he was an elderly man who had been fighting a deadly form of cancer for several years. No, it was that was all just a smokescreen. Really, they arrested him and subjected him to a military tribunal and hanged him, and that's how he died. That's the real reason that he died. And so all of these actors were in Guantanamo Bay. Hanks was really in Guantanamo Bay, or maybe he was already arrested and hanged. Ellen DeGeneres, the same. Could be. I mean, and I'm not remembering other names right now, but it was just like they were saying this was all taking place under the surface, behind the scenes. So it was like there was this contradiction of how it was going down. They were saying, on the one hand, it's going down It's going to go down in a way that nobody could mistake it for being anything but what it is. And then on the other hand, they're saying, no, it's happening in secret. It's happening in secret. They're taking these people away, and maybe replacing them with lookalikes. And I remember saying something at the time, thinking to myself at the time, is this really justice? If that's, and it struck me as preposterous, or at least highly unlikely that it was happening anyway. But even if it was happening, justice is not served unless we see the perpetrator definitely get his just desserts. If it happens in private and nobody knows, and nobody is the better for it, except for a few. I mean, nobody can figure out that it even happened, except for a few Q sleuths online, looking at videos very closely and saying, look at that, look at how he's at, look at minute 117 through minute 123. Look at the weird way that his head is moving. That doesn't look like his head really belongs on his body. So this is clearly CGI'd. And so that was the other side of it, right? It was like they wanted to see whoever was in charge, whoever were the creeps that were in charge of this PSYOP. And it's not, and somebody in the comments section said, oh, well, this was just a 4chan prank. I don't think this was a prank. I don't think this was just a trolling effort. I think this was something much more insidious than that. This was something that was intentionally set up to get people wrapped up in it, get people who knew certain things about the nefarious doings of the elite, to get them all wrapped up in it, and to get them all on Team Trump, and to get them to say, Trump is taking these people down. Trump is taking these people down. But regardless, there was this anticipatory aspect of it all. There was always this TikTok, like people would write under, and these people would swarm. I mean, I kind of admired it. I liked how they would just get under some Ellen DeGeneres video or some other place like that, and just about every comment would be these people, saying, "Where we go one, we go all," and you can't stop what's happening, and all the other mantras. And TikTok, that was something they would say. TikTok, like, it's being intimidating, like your time is running out. We're coming for you, or the authorities are coming for you. The military tribunals are coming for you. And so it's like they had their bases covered either way, right? And the fact that Trump was never saying anything, he never commented on this himself, he never made any announcements about anything. Well, that was because he had to work in secret. He had to just, why wasn't anything happening? Why wasn't, they kept telling us to enjoy the show and bring your popcorn, and that it was all going down. The storm is here, but yet it doesn't seem to be happening yet, and still didn't seem to be happening yet. And again, hope deferred maketh the heart sick. And this is where I think where it gets really nefarious with whoever was orchestrating this whole PSYOP. They were knowingly manipulating people who wanted justice. They were knowingly doing it. I can't see any other way of looking at it but that. And that's a pretty low down, scummy thing to do. But people were tied up in knots over this, and they continue to be tied up in knots as it all unfolded. And They were led astray, and it became sort of like a cult, I would say. It was something. It was a cult that was carefully cultivated, and it was a cult in the sense of there was some powerful personality. Of course, Trump was revered as some kind of savior to humanity. And again, I've talked already about the whole weirdness of that. Like Donald Trump, Mr. The Apprentice, Mr. Real estate, Manhattan real estate mogul who's been in the public eye all his life. He's the righteous man. He's the white hat. He's the one who's gonna get it all done, gonna take them all down. He's your guy. But yeah, he became their guy. But also whoever Q was, whoever was supposedly behind Q. And again, it was thought for a while that it was JFK Jr. So weird. Like, anyway, I just wanted to draw attention to how it was like, it's happening. Like if you don't see it happening on the, an outward sense around you, then be rest assured it is happening on the inside, and it's going to happen in a way that's just going to blow everybody's minds, and it's just going to be incredible. But you have to be patient. They're setting the stage for that. They're always just setting the stage for this big event that's coming. Rest assured, it is coming. Nothing can stop what is coming. And it never came.